What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics, and today we got Marillion's brand new album that just dropped today at the time of this filming, an hour before it's dark, brought to us by our friend, longtime patron, and super fan of Marillion, Joseph. Thank you, Joseph. Now, guys, usually when I do research, and I'm the research guy on this channel, if it's your first time joining us, I dig in, right? And I start out with Wikipedia, and then I always look for a couple other sources. But Wiki usually has everything in one place, and there's a lot of what you're going to find in the other sources. The interesting thing about doing an album like this, especially from someone like Marillion, who has a fervent fan base, but are not widely known, you don't have that wiki page up ahead of time. So I read 4 different in-depth reviews of this, and had to kind of attack it in a different manner. So I really feel like I know this album, even though I haven't listened to it yet. It got me really excited to hear it because all 4 of those critical reviews loved this album. So I'm not really going to give you a whole lot of background on Marillion. I figure if you're watching this, you know who they are. But we got Steve Hogarth on vocals, keyboards, and guitars at times. He's just going to be known as H from now on. Mark Kelly, keyboards, backing vocals. Ian Mosley on drums. Steve Rothery on guitars. He'll be known as Steve. And Pete Trewavis on bass guitar and backing vocals. So that out of the way, 20th studio album. The press release for this album states the album title could refer to the last hour that a child is permitted to play outside, the fight against time in respect of climate change, or the closing minutes of a person's life. You decide. Some 40 years after the release of their debut single and 33 years with an unchanged lineup, man. That's how long it's been. In addition, there's a couple different other people on here. In addition to the choir noir, the album features In Praise of Folly, the Belgian string quartet who previously appeared on With Friends from the Orchestra, and a pair of live releases. The way this album's set up, there's 4 suites, 1 for each theme, 3 standalone songs, and a bonus track. The bonus track actually isn't on the proper album, so we won't get to that. But if you've got the Ultimate Edition or ordered it from me, you're going to have that bonus remix track on there. And producer Mike Hunter is back. A lot of people call him an unofficial 6th member of the band. The production is up to the stringent standards that the Freaks, that's what Marillion's massively dedicated fan base is called. That's what I've learned. So hopefully you are called Freaks. You're going to be upset with me. This is what you've come to expect. It was recorded at Peter Gabriel's Real World Studios, where a documentary about the making of the album was also shot for release with the deluxe edition. So all that out of the way, boys and girls, let's get to it. First song up, Be Hard on Yourself. It'll be familiar to most listeners probably who are watching this because it was the first advanced release track. It encapsulates the album with its juxtaposition of dark reality and sparkling glimmers of hope. It starts with the choir noir. I know I'm saying that wrong, but it is what it is. It's a remote choir based across the UK, sounding suitably like monks, before the 3-part Harder on Yourself suite kicks in. The first section has one of the catchiest earworm choruses of Marillion's career. That's what this critic said. The second part, Lust for Luxury, covers the curse of materialism with an interesting observation in which H quite literally sings, "We haven't got long to the end of the song," while the band executes a dark musical gallop. The third part, You Can Learn, closes out the suite with gentle introspection. And that's the thing, guys. There's suites on 4 of these songs, so you already heard it there, and I like it. I didn't know how it's going to be on Spotify. It actually is a separate track for each part of the suite. So the song itself will be Hard on Yourself, but it has 3 parts to it. But you're going to see that down below on Spotify, so it makes it a little easier to figure it out. But the first one's 352, second one's 207, third one's 329. So that's all one song. We're going to get on that right now. I'm going to have the lyrics up as always. Thanks to Joseph for sending those to me because they're not up on Genius or anywhere else yet, so I would be sunk without them. All right, guys, I should have said this up front. The music will not be on here. It'll get blocked. There's a Vimeo link below. You can follow along with me and listen to it with me. It's 56 minutes. This thing is so highly critically acclaimed. I've been looking forward to it for the last 24 hours. All right, guys, let's get it. Be Hard on Yourself, the 3-part suite. We got a lot to cover, boys and girls. I'll try to be brief, but it's a lot to go through. I thought, overall observations, I thought that H was just, the vocal performance is fantastic, right? Because he had to go from kind of gentle, quiet into soaring and then back and forth, modulate back and forth. That is not an easy thing for a vocalist to do. Obviously, he has passion for the environment. I mean, that's well documented, and that's what this is about. So I think that helps when you're singing about something that you have great passion for. I thought Steve's guitar work was fantastic. The keyboard work, always an enjoyment for me on the Marillion stuff. So Mark was great there, and of course Pete and Ian holding it down in the rhythm section in a lot of good plays, especially that third part. So I just thought that was really good. It starts out, he's just talking about, big ball of rocks and water spinning round in space, blue, green, and made of magic, miracles on miracles on miracles with miracles inside. Why would you kill it? So right away, we start out with some heat, right? Why are we killing the earth? Be hard on yourself. You've been spoiled for years. Be hard on yourself. You'll be glad you did. In other words, show some restraint, man. And then he talks about that. Run towards the things that scare you, I dare you. There's a tear in the big picture. Can't burn it. Got to fix it. Strap in, get ready, foot down, push the button, blow it all up, and be hard on yourself. Then we go into the lust for luxury. So in that, we kind of dial back some things, right? We're going to dial that back some. Keys come in a little bit more on there, a little hypnotic, but it's only 2 minutes. And then we get into and I had said in that section, because what I'd read at the start, the second part that H sings, we haven't got long to the end of the song. He doesn't sing that in the second part, he sings that in the third part. That's what the reviewer had said, so that was what my notes had. But we go to lust for luxury. Don't talk to me of need, don't talk to me of want, don't talk to me of dreams. Don't talk to me of speed. Acceleration never did you any good. And he gets into that. The monkey wants a new toy, and that's all that it knows. Something to pull the sheep across the field. The only way forward is to fall over. You can learn to be hard on yourself. So that's in part 2. And then part 3, you can learn. The only way to fall forward, or you can learn, be hard on yourself. You can do better. We haven't got long. And then he gets into we haven't got long to the end of the song. Then he gets into strap in, get ready, foot down, push the button, blow it all up. So he takes it in suite 3. He gets back to suite 1. He bookends it, and then he quietly gets out, paint a picture, sing a song, plant some flowers in the park. In other words, the whole overall arching thing of the song is like, you got to sacrifice a little bit, man. We live in such a world where we consume, and I want what's for me, and I don't care about anybody else. And boy, we've seen that where I live in the United States over the last I would say 5 years, where people just want what they want and they don't really care about everybody else. I'm not saying everyone, but I'm saying it's a predominant feeling that you get in a lot of areas of this country. It's something I never thought I'd see in my life, but that's neither here nor there, but it is interconnected a little bit. Now, we're going to go to the next suite, Reprogram the Gene. It's clearly heavily influenced by COVID's effect on society, with the hint that perhaps for the earth, mankind is the virus for which an environmental cure is required, thus tying together the two greatest concerns of the last few years in one song. Its first section, Invincible, is a rocker about androgyny, featuring H in particular expressive, indeed snarling form. Second section, Trouble-Free Life, builds nicely to A Cure for Us. The third section, a solid rocker of sheer brilliance that sports some tidy ELO-type harmonies. That's what the one of the reviewers had said, well, we'll figure this out for ourselves. As we saw in the last song, they had a little bit of it wrong of where things occurred. Reprogram the Gene. Just an excellent song, man. 3 suites. It starts out with the Invincible part. I don't want to be a boy. I don't want to be a girl. I want to be happy. I want to be clever. And no pain whatsoever. Boy, that would be nice. Nice little wordplay. I want to be invincible. I want some peace of mind. I want to share your thoughts. I want to waste your time. Part of it, he goes, the cure is coming at us. The cure is a disease. I don't want to be food for the trees. I don't want a fever. I don't want a cough. As the planet simply shrugs us off. We'll have the earth and the seas to do with as we please, and all the strange human beings we once used to be will be locked down, knocked down, unknown, overgrown, but I'm going to be invincible. That's part 1. We're going to part 2. So it's much more hard rocking on the part 1, right? It starts off with sounds like children outside playing, and then they just kind of come in with the instrumentation, and H comes in pretty hard, and then it starts to dial back, right? And the second 2 parts are not very long. You got Trouble-Free Life. Once again, he starts out with kind of we don't want any pain. You can turn up the gain on the pain, all the problems you really don't have in this trouble-free life. So before he starts out in the first verse, we don't want to feel any pain. Now we have a trouble-free life. And then he just kind of goes on from there. He kind of ties in a bunch of stuff from the first part. And then he gets to A Cure for Us, only minute 29 in that part. Walk down, knock down, country in tears, shaking. This one's going to take years. Reprogram the Gene. We're clever enough, but is there a cure for us? He asked that 4 times. I'm going to be a friend of the earth. Let's all be friends of the earth. Let's all be friends. So yes, I think he's talking about COVID. Yes, he's also tying it back in, right, to our opening track, Be Hard on Yourself, which was all about the environment. So that was a nice little tie in there. Now we're going to go to Only a Kiss, which is a 39-second instrumental, which is the title is in the following track after that, Murder Machines. We'll go from one to the other. I'm not going to stop after 39 seconds and break it down. H has explained about Murder Machines that this song was initially inspired by a chilling thought about the virus. He said, quote, the terrifying reality that to wrap my arms around a father and mother could ultimately kill them gave birth to this song. So, yeah, I mean, that sounds powerful enough, right? So we'll go to 39 seconds, Only a Kiss, into Murder Machines. Murder Machines is not it's not a suite. It's actually just a song. Wow, Murder Machines. What a powerful song. It's so well done. I mean, it's so well done. Ian's drumming on here is fantastic. Pete's putting in great work on the bass. Steve's guitar solo there in the middle, a little bit of a distorted thing in there. I enjoyed that, but I mean, the highlight for me was just not only the lyrical content, which is powerful, but H is just emotional and passionate delivery of this. But Murder Machines, Fragment of Life, Too Small to See. So we're talking about COVID here, boys and girls. Don't know we're only human, a planet there for using. Take their cells and multiply until it dies. And then he builds on this motif. He starts, I put my arms around her. You just feel the power in his voice. He says that 3 times. And I killed her with love. Tested positive, no antibodies, no vaccine, no escape. Don't know we're only human, a planet there for using. Take their cells and multiply. So he put his arms around her and he killed her with love. Now he puts his arms around him and I killed him with love. Reached out, never thought, an innocent act, only a kiss. Then it's she put her arms around him and then she killed me. And then finally she put her arms around me and she killed me with love. She killed me with love. I mean, this song is so powerful. And everybody who's watching this has lived through COVID. Everybody who's watching this has known someone with COVID or had it yourself. And it just really hits you, man. And when we're 2+ years when I'm filming this, we're at about the 2-year mark where it really started to hit as I'm filming this. And sometimes I kind of forget about what it was like when it first hit and the craziness of it. But wow, man, that was a freaking powerful song. That was great. Now we're going to go to The Crow and the Nightingale, a nod to Leonard Cohen. 2 critics I read says this was their favorite on the album. Rothery has agreed, saying it's close to perfect. Okay. H has shared that Cohen is one of his favorite lyricists, and this song was inspired by Cohen's 2006 poetry collection, Book of Longing. It includes the lyrics to Nightingale from Cohen's 2004 album, Dear Heather, written in memory of singer Carl Anderson. So I know I'm an expert on Leonard Cohen, but I've done 2 different top 10 lists for him, for another patron, for Osmond. We've done an album review, done several song reactions. So I am familiar with Leonard, and he was a great songwriter, super intelligent guy. So looking forward to this one. The Crow and the Nightingale. We had the choir back here. They're at the start. They're at the end. I think Steve's best guitar work, Rothery's best guitar work so far on this album, just fantastic, especially at the close, the way it just builds the song. The second half of the song just builds so great instrumentally. As far as lyrically, it's really interesting. H compares himself. He's the crow and Cohen's the nightingale. And I just thought that was really a clever way. I can't fly, but I'll open my rough beak, squawk at the sky, the crowd, and the nightingale. And wrapping the sun with silk, make it something better than blindness. Make it something that can be looked at without hurting. They start at the very end. Locked Helen of Troy in a padded room behind frosted glass, howling at the moon, squawking at the sky, a racket and a tune. That was a really good song. On first listen, it's not my favorite song on here, but that's just because some of the other songs are so great. But with Rothery saying it's his favorite on here, a lot of these songs I know on repeated listens, and I even read that from the critics that, on repeated listens, songs that were originally your favorite you still like, but other songs grow on you. I mean, that's kind of the way all music is, but this kind of music, I think, especially. We only got 2 songs left, but they're long. They're both sweet. We got Sierra Leone. It traces a journey over 5 sections, focusing on a poor man finding a possibly life-changing diamond buried in a rubbish dump, but then refusing to sell it. H says this strange tale is about dignity and respect. So we'll dive in and see what we think. Sierra Leone, 5-part suite. So in that, there's a lot to break down here. You know, it's tough in something that shifts as much because I'm trying to remember. Oh, I tried to take a little bit of notes here. You know, I'm trying to take in the song. It's a lot. So I would never stop it, but it's trying to figure out kind of what was going on in which part as I go back over it. It starts out with the chants, and I found this object deep below the ground, chants in a million under rubbish town, where little barefoot children scratch around, fishing for treasure in the broken glass. Dug around for years, talking about all this stuff, 1 billion years of waiting for me to come along. Bigger than my hand, how can this be? Now I'm free. So you're thinking, all right, this guy's rich, now he can do whatever he wants. But he says, but I won't sell this diamond. I won't sell this diamond. And then we go into the white sand, which really kind of dials things back, right? It's real quiet. Mark Kelly's piano work on this whole song is really fantastic. Then we go into the diamond itself. It goes back to, he revisits what he was doing in part 1. I won't sell this diamond. I know she could give me incalculable riches, everything I ever wanted, all the men desire. I don't need that now. I won't sell this diamond, though I have no need for it, except to be me, to do as I please. I will hide this diamond, and I'll never be the same again. Walking free in Freetown, walking free. Then we go into the warm blue air, where I thought Mark's piano work was really fantastic. Hold her to my eyes, staring at the sky, talking about the colors, sparkle in the blue, warm air of Sierra Leone. And then the final part, more than a treasure, where the tempo changes and picks up some. I won't sell this diamond, I won't. This is more than treasure, this is more than treasure. It was sent to me from God. And then he ends with dreaming in the white sand, bathing in the laughter of children who dance into the sea. I'm dreaming in the white sand, which he was sleeping and dreaming in the white sand in part 2 of the suite. One of the things about H's lyricism on these suites is they're just so fantastic because he connects suites to each other in this way that it is all one big song, yet it is divided out in the suites. I like when artists do this. Way back in the day, the Grateful Dead divided out some of their stuff in suites. I actually have a reaction up to some of their suites that I thought was great. And it's just a really unique way of songwriting that you don't see very often. So as with all these songs, I mean, this song was spot on. Enjoyed it. Like I said, I thought Mark Kelly really shined on this. The instrumentation on all these songs is absolutely top notch. And now we're to the last song. Now, it's a suite, and it's 15 minutes long. And this is a song, I think, more than any of them when I did the research I was looking forward to. It's called Care. You see it below. One critic said, let me get this right, was one of their finest ever tracks and the most perfect song they have ever written. It's based on a real-life event in which a friend of H was diagnosed with tumors in his spine and sent H a series of selfies recording his experience receiving harrowing doses of chemo. This brought them closer as friends, but inevitably it got H thinking about our mortality, which obviously it's going to do. So there's a lot to this. It's 15 minutes. I'm going to be over here trying to take it in, type a little bit so I don't forget all the parts that I like. But yeah, man, this is the pinnacle of this album. Wow. Care. It's a 15-minute song, and I didn't want it to end, right? Wow. Okay, let's try to carry. Let's see. Let's talk about the instrumentation. I thought Pete's bass work was top notch at the very beginning. It was really banging on there. The opening section is the maintenance drugs, right? So it's the perspective of he's getting the maintenance drugs. So he's saying, you give me maintenance drugs, say I'll be okay. So I'm taking my time, living from day to day. You got to live. No one knows how much time they got left. An hour before it's dark. They give me maintenance drugs. You have to care. No one knows how much time. They said I'll be okay. Whether you like it or not, when it's gone, it's going to take you with it, this one. Whether you like it or not, when it's gone, it's going to take you with it. It's going to take you with it. Then we go into the suite of an hour before it's dark, right? What this album is named after, and it just repeats that 3 times, an hour before it's dark. There are days that will flash before our eyes at the end. These are the moments burned in the sacred places of our hearts. Thank you for making me truly, truly alive in a life where luxury was sometimes to survive. Under the weight of lost love, disillusionment, and shame, you came warm and loved me like a tropical storm, spiraled me into the air. And then we go to every cell. So on the opening, I thought the opening section, H, is just fantastic on it, man. It had a little funky groove to it that I didn't expect because of the subject matter, but then it kind of dialed back. The third section we're going to, Every Cell. Great piano work. I mean, on this song, I know I've been like holding up Mark Kelly a lot on this album, but the piano work on this is tremendous. And on a song like this, the piano work really is, I don't want to say it's the most important instrumentation because I don't want to assign that to anything, but it really is kind of the most important instrumentation. Every Cell, these are the days that will flash before our eyes. Yours are the words that will whisper in my body as it fades. Yours is the laughter burned into my days, locked away in every cell. I came, I saw, I fell, and I changed. Found freedom in a diamond I won't trade, not even for heaven. So see, he ties back to Sierra Leone in this. And as I appealed you, you realized you love me enough to leave me forever. Then we go to the last section. Angels on Earth. It has a nice instrumentation build into this thing, right? And when we get into this section, he's talking about nurses and the people on the front lines of, we're tying it back to COVID, I think, here in some parts, and also the nurses taking care of his friend that reference at the start, which inspired him to write this. But it said part of this was inspired by a mural of an emotional nurse painted in Manchester by Paul Barber, based on a photo taken by nurse Joanna Churchill of her exhausted colleague, Melanie Sr. So that part of it ties into the lyrics. He's talking about the angels in the world are not in the walls of churches. And the way H delivers these lyrics, it's just so powerful. It's restrained yet powerful, if that makes sense. The heroes in this world are not in the Hall of Fame. I saw a man paint a woman on the wall, so that picture I was just referencing. Mask on her face, screen over her eyes, hospital clothing, worried and exhausted. A thing of beauty, a thing of care. Pure class right there, right there. The angels in this world are not in the walls of churches. So he goes around that. Yours in this world working while we're all sleeping. She wrapped her arms around me. He wrapped his arms around me. An angel here on this earth came to carry me home, to carry me home. And I mean, Steve's guitar work on this song as it progresses is just unreal. I just don't even really know what to say about it. There's so much to this song, to this suite. It's 15 minutes long, and every bit of it's great. Every bit of it's freaking great. So now we're to my favorite tracks. Really hard to pick on this one. I liked every track on here. Fave tracks, I'm going to go with Care, as you probably imagine. I'm going to go with Murder Machines, and I'll go with the first track, Be Hard on Yourself. But, I mean, I liked every bit of these tracks. Now we're going to get to my overall score on this album. It's interesting, right? It's 56 minutes long. 7 songs, sort of. One of them's instrumental, so you can say there's 6. But then there's all these suites in here, so you could say there's 17 songs. However you want to approach it. But I'll tell you what, man. First off, I'll cover the instrumentation. So Mark Kelly's keyboard's fantastic. Ian Mosley, I only mentioned him a couple times, but his drumming work is pivotal to music like this. Pete on the bass, didn't mention him a lot either, but him and Ian holding down the rhythm section is the underlying backbone of all of these songs. And then, of course, Steve Rothery, one of the best guitarists in the world still. I mean, his work is just fantastic. Besides Gilmour, I don't know anybody who does this any better in this type of music. And then let's save H for last. His vocal performance on here, top notch. You feel the emotion. He never overdoes anything, brings the right amount of power, and his songwriting ability to tackle these tough subjects in a way that doesn't seem overdone or pushed at you or too cheesy or holier than thou on his part is just unbelievable, man. That the songwriting, I loved it. So my overall score on here on first listen is going to be an 8.5. I just think this album's fantastic. Now, mind you, I'm listening to it with these lights on me, and I'm trying to focus on lyrics, and I'm trying to make notes. I can't wait to just put these headphones back on in a dark room and just let it wash over me, because that's really the way this is meant to be heard. So I can't wait for that. It might go even higher, but a sky-high 8.5. Thank you, Joseph, for bringing this to me. Thank you, Marillion community, for watching this video. I know you guys know a million more things about these guys than I do, but I'm trying, man, and I'm getting there, and I so enjoy them, guys. So if you'd like to help us out in any way as Joseph does, check out the Patreon link below, or the Patreon link on the end screen that's going to hit, where I'll put another video up on there that I think you might enjoy. It's another Marillion video that Joseph brought us. Until next time, guys, I will see ya.